Hello, people. Hi, my name is Salvador Parado. For those who speak Spanish, I am doing this live. I am very happy to be here with you guys today. And today's Friday, so I'm gonna do a freestyle, and then I'm gonna do a subject that is being top of head, and a lot of people are commenting on this, and it is why so many people are afraid of AI, right? I want to know why so many people are afraid of AI. AI is not something to be afraid of. A lot of people say, what if I can never, if I'm going to lose my job? Guys, AI cannot replace you, cannot replace you. And what are the things that they cannot replace about you? Well, we're going to go through that in this video. I'm trying to make this video to inspire those and to give a little bit of hope here and some perspective. Let me give you a little bit of background about myself. My name is Sal again. I am Cuban. I was born in Cuba. I've been reinventing myself all the time through my life, pretty much. I was born in Cuba. I came in 1994. I came on a raft. Then I got to this country with zero money, very little English. My English still not that great. I'm still trying to improve it because I have a big accent, as you can tell, right? So be candid with me and don't be so harsh on your comments. I So when I got here, I had to reinvent myself. I have to start from zero, get a job in whatever I can get a job. So I did that. I did, hotels for many years. Then I got promoted into luxury hotels. Then I went into high-end luxury sales. I sold BMWs for many years, and then I went into banking, and I worked as a business banker for many years. Now I'm a realtor in South Florida. I live in South Florida, and I help investors with their to find properties that suit with their needs and that create cash flow. I specialize myself in cash flow assets and real estate and investment. So that's my story. But like I said, I always have to be reinventing myself. Now we are learning this new AI thing, right? Why not? We expand our mind every time we learn. I think it's great, to learn something new every time. I'm gonna try to focus on this camera here. It's a little bit difficult, but I hope you don't mind. I have my little note here. I like taking notes. I write down things so that I stay on focus and I stay on topic. Um, I haven't got that many messages from any of you. This is my I believe my third or my fourth episode, but it doesn't matter. I'm not counting. I said to myself, part of my reinvention is to give a message out there. I want to give a message. And I want to do it no matter what. So please subscribe, support my channel. It's the only free thing you can do. I'm asking you so that I can continue doing this. All right. So, like I said, a lot of people are afraid that AI is going to take their jobs, that it's moving too fast. It's going to replace the worry about, how their works is not going to longer exist. And I understand that. That's a valid, worries. But, like, how AI is going to copy the information, see the patterns. AI cannot, there's a lot of things that people are afraid nowadays. But hey, nothing is sure in life. There's always going to be a change. If it's not AI, it's something else. So life is all about reinvention and keep moving forward. So I believe the important thing is to number one, lose the fear of technology, right? It's not going to take your job. It might take the obsolete jobs like the data entry, but that's when we are humans, right? AI cannot replace your passion. AI cannot replace who you are. AI cannot replace your brand, the person you are, how you communicate. If we focus on learning the skills that are truth, that don't expire, that live through time, those are the skills that are important, that makes it that we're not replaceable. For example, I made some notes here. Okay, your identity. AI is not gonna delete your identity, right? So that's why we need to work in our identity. We need to work on our personal brand. Not everybody is a YouTuber. Not everybody wants to be in social media, but we all, once in a blue moon, post a picture in YouTube. We all post a picture in Facebook or social media, and you can tell that I'm not a big social media guy. Well, I am, but I'm not for stupid things. Like we need to learn how to start using social media for things that matter, right? To learn, to build up again that personal brand, to create something that transmit that gives value, right? If we give value to people and we teach something that what we know, then you start becoming more valuable in the marketplace because someone might see you out there, and then they say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna call that person, I'm gonna call that accountant that was talking about three strategies on how to organize your books. I'm just giving an example here. I am. This is a live chat, so this is my freestyle. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you want me to talk about a certain topic, let me know. I am using this microphone. Hey, listen, if you want to donate money to buy me a better microphone, by all means, okay. But this is what I got right now that I'm working with. So to make a better sound. My second point is when it comes to branding is important. I was talking to one of my kids this morning, and that's why I'm like, we need to work on our brand. Imagine if you are a 23-year-old person and you start working right now on your brand, right? You start talking about what's your passion, what can you do with your passion. um, I don't know, you might be passionate about animals, right? You're passionate about dogs, right? So you start talking about dogs. What do you do with dogs? How do you feel when you are with dogs? What do you think this dog? And then you talk about that. You talk about dog, and that's your brand. That's your identity. There's nothing wrong with it, right? As soon as you do something that is helping others, right? As soon as you're delivering a message that is creating value, that's what is important. That's how you build your brand. That's how you recognize in any subject or field, that you are interested about, right? Let's use that example about that person, that dog lover, right? If that person is a brand, is recognizes, start putting their brand out there, and somebody recognizes him, somebody from, let's say, a dog company, somebody who has a big company and needs somebody passionate about, that talks about dogs, that knows about them, that that is a recognized brand, they will get hired right away as a consultant, or maybe as the face of that brand, of that business, or to talk to their customers, or to get an input, right? Because you got already recognized as a authority on that subject, right? So that's something you can do, right? What else can you do? AI cannot take away your skills, right? The skills that you learn through life, right? For example, I learned sales, right? I stacked my skills in sales. I went through what did I do then? Then I because it's life is like a learning curve, right? We're gonna be learning continuously. I'm not gonna here telling you that you're gonna become rich overnight, okay? This is not what I'm talking about. This is not the type of video. This video is about giving you knowledge from from me, from what I've learned through years of experience and reinvention, and reinventing myself and get to the level that I am right now. But it's all been working hard and working smart. Okay, I know there is a lot of videos out there that you're gonna make money and you're gonna make millions and you're gonna make $1,000 a month or whatever. This is not that video. Yes, you can do that. There is a lot of information, and those who have the capacity will be able to do it. But all I'm here is giving you my knowledge and what I know about the life that I have experienced. Right, I'm 55 years old and I have some experience that you have not lived. So um, your knowledge, right? The raft cannot take the knowledge. I mean, the AI cannot take the knowledge and the experience that you go through life. For example, cannot take my experience and my knowledge that being on a raft not on the middle of the ocean can take away from you, right? That cannot take away from me, because that experience, that drive, that character building experience is not going to be replaced by AI, right? And you can translate that into, let's say you have some kind of experience like that. In my case, I have it, but let's say you have a different type of experience. You can carry that experience and make it into a learning and to a positive, right? And then use that for your new for your new job. You can use it for your new career, right? um, your knowledge. Let's continue on point when it comes to knowledge, right? Let's say um, any knowledge. Let's say you are a 30-year-old person that is working in accounting, and you are solving issues with accounting and your data entry, right? You know how to organize, right? So you need to start learning about how to create system to organize things. You can use that skill and monetize on that skill so that you can learn all the skills as well. But if you start being afraid and start being fearful, you become negative, right? And then that negativity will only get you worse. It will get you more worry. One thing I know, that we cannot listen to the noise. Okay, it is important to forget about the noise. Keep your head straight. Like a horse that they have the things on the side, and that horse cannot look to the side. You look forward, right? That's the mentality here. You look forward. That's what I always done. Look forward and be positive, and then you use what you have in a positive way to grow, right? And you keep your skills. You keep learning that skill, that new skill. That listen, if you use AI is there. It's a tool. It makes you superhuman, right? But you need to know how to use it. We all learning. You know, you know how hard it is to learn. Like computer, and how to learn AI, how to learn to not to code, but to prompt. Prompting it seems easy, but you know we need to learn how to do it, because that's the way we ask computers. That we need to ask smart questions, and by learning how to ask smart questions, we learn how to be smarter, right? So since I've been using AI, I feel a little bit smarter. I feel a little bit more smarter, more agile with technology. I've been doing it. I've been using it. Even the free versions, I've been using all the free versions and try it out on my free time. Now, you have to sacrifice something. That struggle is not going to come easy, right? You got to sacrifice the free time. Instead of spending maybe 3 4 hours watching Netflix, or watching a YouTube channel or YouTube video, or watching reels, or watching something funny. You do only half an hour of that, and then you spend 2.5 hours learning about AI, 2.5 hours learning on how can you use your knowledge for to develop a business through the internet, or develop a business through AI. Or how do you learn about AI, or how do you learn about your business so that you don't become obsolete, so that you can come and learn, and then implement new things in your life and in your job, right? Everything requires a sacrifice. We have to forget about the noise. The noise is a lot. All the social media posts, and the people with bragging about this and bragging about that, and all the news out there, the negative news. Guys, it's important to forget about the noise. Keep focus. Just keep going. you know I'm not sure if this message is going to reach a lot of people, but hey, you know what, I'm not sure. I'm not teaching anything here that is new. This is old school knowledge, and we need old school knowledge for the new world, because these skills, these things are not going to go away ever. So that's this what is the channel about: how to reinvent yourself, how to reinvent your career, how to monetize on the simple things, right? Like I said, your skills, keep polishing your skill. Any skills that you think that might be irrelevant right now is relevant. Okay, because every skill is an important skill. You might think a simple thing as helping customer in a desk, being a customer service, serving people food, all that is a skill. When you are in the service industry, AI cannot replicate that. You can learn from your service, and then you can transition to something else, right? It is important not to be afraid. AI cannot replicate your passion, right? If you're passionate about something, that passion cannot be replicated. I'm going to tell you a story. When I went to interview for one of my jobs, I'm not going to mention the job or anything like that. There were a lot of people that were 10 times more qualified than me when I went to interview for that job. 10 times, right? I got in, and then 2 3 years later on my job, I asked my boss, "Hey, why did you hire me?" Because there were people who were under me, right? That had more degree, that had a better degree, that were smarter, and then they didn't get hired for my position. So the guy said, "You know what?" The manager said, "Sal, I hire you because you had the most passion when you interview." And that passion that you had, and that drive, and that energy, and that positivity, and that love for what you do cannot be replicated. They cannot teach you that in school. And that's what I'm talking about here. Okay. Learn the skills that are timeless. You know, if you have a skill that you want to learn, just tell me. Send me a DM, send me a message, send me a link. If you want a clarity call, a consultation, um, hey, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I would love to coach you in something. I would love to give you some different perspective. Send me a call. We can work out a price for a clarity call or something else. It is important. You call me, and then or we can do a private Zoom, and we can do a one-on-one coaching or something like that through Zoom. Okay, but like I said, AI cannot replicate that. I also put some notes in my system here. AI cannot replicate your story, right? We are talking about identity already. AI cannot replicate your presence. Being present in the moment, that cannot be replicated, right? So that's those are angles. Leadership. AI can teach you everything about leadership. You can go online right now and ask, tell me the characteristics of a leader. Tell me the characteristics of a leader, how to be a leader. Teach me. Now, are you going to follow it? That's the issue here. Are you going to follow being a leader? Okay. Shit. Sorry, I cursed. Are you going to follow being a leader? I mean, you cannot fake that. It's something that you got to do. You know, your emotional correct connection, your emotional connection with the people. You know, uh, One of my stories, when I got my first job, I was on a bus. I was going to South Beach, right? I'm like, I need to get a job today. I was 10 days in the country, my first 10 days. So I am on a bus. So I'm like, I got my work permit, right? It's been 10 days. I need to get a job. I need to start paying bills. Reality. Plus, I was so excited to be here in freedom. I was like a little kid in a candy store, okay? I was happy because that was my dream to have freedom, and I was so many opportunities. So I was like happy. So I jump on a bus, right? And like Rick Cuban says, I was green. I was estaba verde. I was like full of energy, positive, like I am right now too. And I hope I'm transmitting that to you, and AI cannot do that. So I was green. And so I get into the bus. So I am driving. I'm in the bus sitting down, and in front of me, there is this lady that sits across from me from the bus, from a chair. And I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And I started making a conversation with her and all that. And then the lady says back hi to me. And then all of a sudden, I notice an accent, right? So I speak Italian. I learned Italian in Cuba. So I learned English. I learned English and Italian in Cuba, but that's a story for another day that I can make you so that you can learn about part of my life and experience and the teaching and lesson that he has. But anyways, I learned Italian. So I listen to the accent and I say, "Hey, are you Italian?" She goes, "Yes." "How do you know?" "Well, the accent, I know Italian too, blah, blah, blah. So I'm on my way to get a job." I tell her that I'm on my way to get a job to South Beach because I speak English, I speak Italian. I tell her my story that I just got from Cuba, that I was a rafter, that I was spend 6 months in Guantanamo Bay. And then, "Oh, well, that's nice." Isn't that? The lady tells me, after I finish my story, we start talking. She goes, "Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna get the job, but in my job, in my condo, they are looking for a doorman, right? If you, I'm gonna introduce you to the manager, to the hotel, to the condominium manager, and and if she interviews you and she likes you, whatever, you can get the job. It's yours. If she gives it to you, say, yeah, sure. So I stepped out of the bus. I go to her condo. She introduces me to the hotel manager, and then I'm there, and so I'm positive. I am charismatic. I'm telling her the truth. I'm looking into the eye contact, and guys, this is my first USA interview. Okay, I have no idea, no resume. Okay, you follow me, right? No idea, no resume, no nothing. So I'm talking to this lady here. She's an American. I am excited but super nervous at the same time. So she asked me about my experience. I told her my experience, that I have no experience, but I know how to deal with people. So she gives me a job. That was a doorman job. Okay, I was a doorman in the nice condominium in Miami Beach, for the first time. My first job, 10 days fresh out of Cuba, right? Out of Guantanamo Bay, actually. 10 days fresh out of Guantanamo Bay. So the moral of the story here is, I don't want you to take away, it's not because I'm making this about me, but I want you to understand that I had passion. I had eye contact. Okay, so I used my skills. What was my skill? Back in Cuba, I was a tourist guy, right? I studied English in 93. I started to study English in 93. So I was determined to learn English no matter what. Okay. So every day I learn English. I learn English. I practice out loud every single day. I put a tape. I take my TV so that I can see the American movies, the English American movies from USA, and I'm forced to listen to them. I didn't understand half of it, but it doesn't matter. It will force me to understand it, and I will mimic what they were saying. Like, I will try to mirror the words, whatever words I can catch. I'll try to mirror it, right? And at the same time, I will study English at night. Plus, I have my job in the morning. So I was studying at night, and then I was reading out loud every single day, right? So I learned how to speak English speak it in like 3 to 6 months. I was kind of like a little bit, getting there. Like, how are you? This and that. My name is Sal. So I practice every day out loud. I'll talk English to my mom, even though she wouldn't understand anything. She will, how Cuban moms are. Well, Cuban moms are like Italian moms and Spanish moms. They scream a lot, and like they scream and they tell you, don't speak to me in English. I don't know any English. So, like that. They don't do it in a bad way, but that's the way they are. I love it. So, nothing. So I'm learning English. So I learn English there in the same school. And then I said, you know what? English is not enough. I'm going to learn Italian as well. So I learn Italian, right? At the same time as I learn English, the same method. Learn it, take 2 days of my time, and then try to memorize Italian. Try to be fluent in Italian. Obviously, Italian is easier because I speak Spanish. So it came out easier for me. So in 6 months, I was pretty much kind of like, I could play my way around a tourism. Like, I can show them where things are and then guide them through the city. I couldn't establish a business conversation, but I was pretty good about it. So that's it. 3 months in my school, I'm being a tourist guy. That was in Cuba. Obviously, that was on the side because I wasn't allowed to be a tourist guy, but it doesn't matter. I did it anyways because I needed to. I said, I'm going to be a tourist guy. I want to help tourism, and I want to make contact with other people from another part of the world. I want to get to know their cultures, and I want them to know my culture. So I did that. So I did that for that was my experience. I did it for maybe a year. I did it for a whole year, and I was pretty good about it. Pretty busy. I got different people, different cultures. I got Canadians tourism. I got Canadians clients. I got Italian clients. I got Argentinian clients. I got Mexican clients. I got American Canadians. Did I say Canadians already? Yes, I did. I mean, it was very exciting. I loved it. So I'm telling you the story because I want you to have a context of the experience that I got, right? So it was like a Lego building, right? Building my I was building my resume without building my resume when I was in Cuba. I want you to understand this because that's what is life all about. You got to learn skills and you stack those skills on top of the other skill, and that's how you become relevant, right? So I was developing skills of sales, languages, obviously, uh, hospitality back when I was in Cuba. So when I got here to the USA, believe it or not, that helped me on my interview because you know what? If you know how to introduce yourself to somebody on the street, a tourist on the street, and hustle that, right there, that's sales, right? Realtor have to knock on a door and try to get a listing or get somebody new and establish it. That's right there, sales, right? Even though you don't think so, even though I didn't even think about it, that I was stacking my skills. So I was sales skills right there. I was customer service skills, right? Interview skills. I was interviewing people, asking them what they need, what was their background, what was their their likes, you know. And I'm sure that there is many more skills that I'm not included in this, but yes, that was part of the skills as well. So right there, when I got to South Beach, to that condominium, I was like ready for that interview unconsciously, right? So I get my first job, and then obviously I'm not used to the things in the USA. I got nothing, no knowledge, okay? Because guys, when you come from Cuba to USA and they drop you here, I'm telling you, it's like you were born for the first time. Especially now, it's a little bit easier. Okay, now you have internet. Now you have AI. So the Cubans in the island, if they have internet, they can know a little bit about things about this country. But back in the 90s, there was nothing. Okay, I mean, it was being Cuban and coming to the USA when you're in those times, and still now there is a big learning curve, all right? But before, it was a bigger learning curve, okay? It was like being born again. You know how to talk, but you it requires a lot of people struggle at the beginning. Not everybody is the same. There are people who are 100 times more successful than me when they come, um, and there's people who struggle more because it is like it is. But anyways, I developed those skills, right? So the only skill that I could use to get my first job was those. So I thought in my mind, I learned Italian, I know English, I know how to talk to people, I know about tourism. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go get a job in South Beach. I'm gonna get a job today. So also, I put that in my mind. I don't know if you call it the universe, but I said I'm gonna go find a job. I'm going to go find a job, and I found a job. Okay, and it works for a lot of things too. Excuse me. But that's a different video at all. That's a different session. If you want to talk about it, I can talk about it too. Um, like that leadership, that creativity and mixed emotion. AI cannot be creative. I mean, AI can create music and can create a video for you, can create, but the thoughts and the creativity and your life experience, AI cannot do that. They cannot fake emotion, right? There is so many things. um people don't buy information. People buy trust. you know People buy connection, they buy confidence, they buy energy, right? They rely on that. When you go to a job interview, when you go to interact, but we're going to still have to be interacting. So this channel is about how reinvent yourself on that. When it comes to that, it is important. It is important to to have that human connection, to learn that human connection. I believe right now that the most important skills we can ever learn is leadership skills, connection skills, language skills, believe it or not, sales skills, And if you learn how to be a gentleman, right, and a lady, and I know, guys, it sounds simple, right? Very simple. But right there, that's a skill of in itself. Being a gentleman, being a lady, it is a skill on itself. And I don't know why people don't talk more about this on YouTube or online. It's getting forgotten. But that skill, those skills never go away, you know, because you become a leader. You become, you know, a force. And now imagine that force, right? That present with AI. We become superhumans, right? Pretty much. And then, that's when you become unstoppable. And you can hire, there is transferable skills right here. A salesperson can become a consultant, right? A mechanic can build a YouTube channel and start explaining things on YouTube on how to fix cars. You know how many people struggle fixing things online, fixing things. And they can do tutorials, they can do business on that. A cook can create catering businesses. A baker can become a financial coach. I mean, uh, I'm sorry, guys. A banker can become a financial coach, right? Listen, I'm not gonna edit on any of these because I'm a real guy. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. This is a learning curve for everybody. I'm putting myself out here because I believe I have value to transmit to you guys. So a banker can become a financial coach because I used to be in banking. I'm not a financial guy. I don't like numbers, but I like strategies, right? When you like strategy, that's the most important part. A number can do it by a computer. A computer can do numbers for you, but the ideas, the thoughts, the strategy, and the passion cannot be replicated by AI, right? Experience, they compound over time, right? This experience, they keep compounding, right? So in my case, my experience as a tourist guy in Cuba, right, compounded. My experience as a doorman compounded, right? And then I go into hotels, right? Then I go to promotion to luxury hotels, right? And then go into, because I know how to treat people and how to treat people the right way, in the gold standard way, how to care for people, how to put myself in their shoes, how to maximize their happiness and their experiences. Then I know how to sell high-end tickets item, $100,000 cars. Why? Because I am not a salesperson anymore. I am a consultant. I am a fiduciary person. I believe in acting on the best interest of the people, even though it means not to sell the item, right? I always acted that way. Anybody who knows me knows that. I always acted in the best interest of my client, right? You put yourself in the client's shoes. Those experiences don't go away. That stays with you. You carry that through life and through every single interaction that you do, right? That interaction carries with you. It becomes part of your DNA, part of your personality, right? It starts in small steps, small steps. You start accumulating all that experience that it becomes you, because then then it got me my banking jobs without banking experience, right? It got me my mortgage job without mortgage experience, because even though the when I started banking, when I started business banker, I didn't know anything about the computer of banking or the system, the banking system, but I knew people, right? If you know people, you it's pretty much everything. What does the bank know wants? They want people's money, right? They want the business money so that they can invest it in the back end. But they want those big accounts. They want those big account from the businesses. They want that business um, person to invest in the bank, right? So they, if you become good at this, if you become good at people and being good with people and being a gentleman, being genuine, being always thinking about the best interest of the other person, making that person feel important, that transmits when you're talking to a business person, when you're talking to a person who might be a very wealthy individual. They know how to read people. Otherwise, they wouldn't got to their position, right? They wouldn't have got to their level in most cases, right? So they know when you're bullshitting them or not. They know when you are being truthful. They know when you are being genuine and care about their interest. So that's where they trust you with bigger things, right? So the same thing happens on an interview, right? When you interview with your manager and you truthful and you are and you transmit that passion, and you transmit that intuition and that knowledge, that that you care for people, they get it right away. It becomes like you become like it becomes part of you. It's your DNA. So that's how I got hired as a business banker, right? And as a mortgage person. And then I did that for 10 years. I was business banker. Then I became a business relationship manager. And then I thought that it was a time for me to evolve. And then all this knowledge also compounds it. And then now I'm able to be a realtor and also a coach, because I love being a coach more than I mean, I love real estate, but my passion, honestly, is to transmit this, is to coach people, is to give value. It's always been like that. That's the underlying um feeling, helping others. And we all have that too. you know when we become when we give, and when we become an instrument, and when we offer value to others and to services, we become very valuable in the marketplace. And this is and AI cannot replace that. you know AI cannot replace that. In the new economy, we're going to we need to work on personal brands. We need to work on content creation. You don't have to be a content person. You don't have to be a geek, or you don't have to know a lot about computers. Guys, I don't know much about computers. I struggle a lot with the editing. I'm not going to edit this video, by the way. I'll probably change, and probably the algorithm will punish me for this. You know what? I'm going to do what I can. Okay. So that's why I'm doing live stream, because you can see what's me. You can see me. You can see a real guy trying to explain himself and trying to be real, not trying to be fake. Okay, so that's me. Content creation is important in the new economy. Digital products, any kind of digital product, anything can become a digital product. You just have to be passionate about it. Have passion about that digital product. You know, if you have any comments, I'm just gonna say again, I'm in the middle of my show. If you have any comment, give me a comment. You know, anything. Subscribe to my channel. Just support my channel. I do this with a lot of passion. I put a lot into it. Believe me. I've been talking for 38 minutes already, and it's challenging, but I'm happy. I would love to have someone in front of me, because when you have, I mean, at least I feed out of that energy. I like being in front of people, honestly. Um, but so going back to the new economy, we have consulting, right? We can consult on things. We can focus on being a consultant. We can focus on education. Guys, education is huge. You can educate somebody from any part of the world right now, right? When the little camera like this, you can educate somebody from the anywhere in the world. You can target your knowledge, your experience. Your life experience is unique. My life experience is unique. Your life experience could be unique as well. You have something I haven't lived. You can just simply explain it, and then talk about that every single day without, you know and then that right there, that's teaching. You're teaching a subject that we don't know about it. So education, community, you know talking about community, human connection, all that is Is the new economy. It's going to be all that. There is definitely jobs are going to be obsolete. I can see it. Data entry is going to be obsolete. Organizing paperwork, maybe answering phones. These things are not going to disappear overnight. We still have time, guys. But it's like before, when they invented the tractors and and all this technology, the computer came in, a lot of jobs disappear. We're still here, you know, it's going to be okay. I don't think God is created. God created AI through men, but I don't think His plan. He knows everything. He knows what's going on. Just gonna have some water here. He knows the plan, right? So I believe that if we focus on those little on the normal in the human aspect and in the human aspect of things, we can be very successful. Um, your story is an advantage. The story that you have to tell is an advantage. If for example, there is stories, out there, like we can talk about how your reinvention. We can reinvent ourselves. It is an experience that cannot be replicated. Okay, personal growth. I have um, I have a story that I want to tell also that it comes with resilience. You know, we have to be resilient. We have to keep going. Perseverance is key. If you don't persevere, we're not going to triumph. And I know, like I said again, there is a lot of distractions, but we need to keep focused. Okay. So keep focused, keep going. Don't be afraid of AI. Embrace it, learn from it, learn something new every day. It is important to keep focused, to not waste time. It is important to be on top of the things that matter. Read something, um, whatever comes to your mind that is valuable. Ask AI. Use it as your tool. Use it as your your partner. Not a partner like you're gonna replace it for a human being. But I'm talking about use it as a knowledge, right? As a tutor, right? Any subject you want to learn is a tutor. You can use it as a role play partner. You can role play with it. If you are in sales, you can role play your sales. If you are trying to go for an interview and you don't have the experience for an interview, you can role play for a week before you go to the interview, right? You can you're gonna go for a job interview and you don't know nothing about that company. You can you can go and find out and research the company's information, right, online, and do an outline of that company information, and then you can read that company's information. You can ask ChatGPT or whatever platform you use of AI to repeat it back to you, right? You can ask now, based on this company, can you make an interview for me? Can we role play an interview based on the information of this company? I want give me 10, 15 questions a person from this company could ask me. What knowledge are they require from me? What are the key features or things that I have to go and that I have to study? Also, it is important. Make sure that you think outside the box. Presence is key, right? AI cannot go to a place and knock on the door and talk to the manager and introduce yourself even before you get the job. You're interested in a place, you're interested on a job, you find out the address. You don't have, listen, you will be surprised how well this works. Okay? And this, it doesn't have to, you don't have to be a young person or an old person, or you have to focus on this. Who cares? Okay? The only thing that cares is that you get the job, Don't worry about being looking ridiculous. Don't worry about looking, you know, don't worry about that. Just be yourself, right? And then let's say you want a job. Let's say you want to work in a certain industry on a certain job. I would love to work there. Okay, just go to that place, right? You knock on that door and you ask, who's the manager? Who's the person in charge here? And you act a part. You gotta go with a plan. You gotta go well dressed. You gotta be dressed for a first impression. Remember, you never have a second chance to make a first impression. Okay, you make a good impression. You talk to that manager. Say, hey, I love you guys over here. I mean, you're my one of my favorite places. My dream is to be able to work here one day. Are you hiring? I mean, are you looking for someone? No? Okay, hey, thank you. Well, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is so and so, and I want to let you know that I'm very, I will be pleased to work with you guys. Here's my information. Here's my car. If you ever need me to come around and help you out, I can do it. I can even do it for free if you like. Guys, you will be surprised how many times that person stays with your impression in their head. When there is a You never know how the universe works. I'm telling you, call me crazy, old fashioned, or maybe whatever. The universe has a plan. It is crazy how things move. You might leave that place the next day, somebody just quits. Okay. When I was living on my raft, okay, my raft was only a capacity for 13 people. Okay. There was 13 people only able to fit on that raft. It was made out of tanks. It was made out of 55 oil drums, right? So it's got a weight capacity. And my uncle told me, hey, we don't know if you're going to be able to get in there because of the weight. I'm like, don't worry about it. When I got to the place where they built the raft, because it was in a secret place, okay, the guy who made the homemade propeller said, guys, you know what? I'm not going. I'm staying. So there you go. That was my opportunity there. That was my spot. You never know, guys. You never know. You never know. And I'm telling you, I keep saying this, but when you have passion, when you have the drive and you look people in the eye and you show that you care, most of the time you get that opportunity. Most of the time that beats the I mean, there are certain jobs you have to have the knowledge, okay? But I'm telling you, if you have the knowledge and you have the care and the passion, and then you do the right thing, you get the job. Okay. So right now, think about it. Most jobs, knowledge, yeah, it's important, but everything is getting done by a computer. Everything is getting done by a program, by a chatbot that is outsmarting everybody else. So what the computer cannot outsmart, cannot make cannot make your care. We still have to deal with people that cannot be replaced. So thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe, support my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so that I can start getting monetized and somehow get paid for this. But hey, listen, I'm also happy to be here. It's not about the money. It's about what I want to give, what my message wants to do. And let me know. Let me know. Give me a story that inspired me to talk about it here. If you have a story like this, okay. Thank you so much, and it is a pleasure. And once again, thank you. I'm going to end the stream now. Once again, subscribe. I see you.